Hello and welcome. My name is Kim with Lotus Within Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. It is one that I really enjoy doing. Now, if you have ever been to one of my hips and hamstrings classes in person, guaranteed you've done this little series before. Now, every now and then I get people asking me, if I don't have a lot of time, what kind of stretches and yoga poses would you recommend to help start your day, to end your day, anything like that? Now, most people that I talk to also have really tight hips and possibly lower back pain. Now, this series was actually originally taught to me by my mentor, Crystal May. I did a lot of trainings with her. She's really knowledgeable, and this is something she would throw into her classes. And every time I did it, I always felt amazing. There's so many benefits. You're gonna absolutely love it. But anyways, I could go on and on and on about that. But what I'd like you to do is to go find a strap or a rope of some sort. You don't need to go out and buy a fancy yoga strap. That's not what I'm asking here. We just need some sort of line that's, as long as your legs. Maybe that's a dog leash. Maybe it's a towel. Maybe it's, your robe, how it ties clothes. You can grab one of those. There's all sorts of things I'm sure you can find around your house that is something like this that you could use. So go ahead, push pause, go grab your strap, and we'll meet on the mat. All right, excellent. Now that we all have our strap, let's go ahead and lay our back down onto the yoga mat. Just taking your time. Coming to find a comfortable place, laying on your spine. Kind of shifting your hips, making your spine all nice and in line. You can start with your feet flat on the ground. Just taking a moment here to collect your breath. Inhaling through the nose and either exhaling through the nose or the mouth. Excellent. So now if you have a yoga strap, you can go ahead and make a loop at the end of it. Or if you just have, whatever kind of laying around, any kind of rope, we're going to take our ball of our right foot and place it in the strap, either holding onto either end like so, or if you have the little loop, just placing the ball of the foot in there, not in the middle of the foot, not on the heel, right in the thick pad there. And we're going to send our right heel up to the sky. Excellent. Now your right leg doesn't have to be fully stick straight. Actually, a nice gentle bend in the knee feels really quite nice. And we're just going to slowly get into the back line of our right leg. Now with our left leg, we can either keep that flat onto the ground, the flat foot, with the knee bent, or we can start to walk the foot down, straightening through that left leg. Now that's going to intensify this stretch possibly for some. So wherever you are comfortable to hold this, we don't want to be forcing ourselves into any sort of shape. We just want to be feeling a nice stretch through the back of the leg. Ensuring that we're not bringing any excess tension to our shoulders, dropping them down and away from the ears. And kind of pressing into our heel, just ever so slightly. And maybe with your hands, even a gentle pull forward. Again, not forcing yourself into any particular shape. Just going to where you can feel it. Staying soft through the face, and your jaw. And continuing to breathe. If there's any unsteadiness or shakiness to your leg, maybe backing off just a little bit. There's no competition here. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. Checking that our hips are staying both down and grounded, as well as both shoulders. Go ahead and take 2 more big, deep breaths here. Excellent. All right, so now we're going to open up through the hip just a little bit. You can take the strap into your right hand as you gently start to guide the leg over to the right. And we're going to press out, continue to press out through that heel. And you can imagine, you know, say if you're like a big clock, you have to remember that not everybody does the analog clock. A lot of people do the digital clock, but if you were looking at an analog clock and you were to put your heel out to about like 2 o'clock. Or you can even think, which is a funny, if you're a visual person but don't do the clock thing, you could think about if you ever played with Barbies, their legs always were straight and they kind of would go in any sort of way. So if you were to think that you had no ligaments, no tendons, your legs could move around as you wish, like Barbies, you would be bringing your leg up and your knee would be next to your ear. That's kind of the pressure that the slight pressure, not forcing, slight pressure I'm pulling back. Again, keeping the back of the leg nice and long, but also getting into the inner thigh. Keeping both hips nice and grounded, ensuring that we're not flopping over to one side. If you do find that you need a little counterbalance, bending through that left knee and allow it to flop over to the left makes a nice little counterbalance. Knee again does not have to be stick straight. A slight gentle bend in the knee to protect it is absolutely fine. Funny, I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but my chicken coop is just off to the side here and they are making all sorts of noises. So if you hear odd bird noises, you're not going crazy. It's my hens begging for treats. And checking in with your breath. Sometimes our body tends to hold the breath, thinking that it makes things easier, and it doesn't. If you find yourself holding your breath, maybe backing off out of the pose just a little bit. You might be forcing yourself into something. That's your ego telling you you should look some particular way. Let's take one more big breath right here. Excellent. We're going to start to guide the foot back up through center. This time we're going to take the strap into our left hand as we cross our right foot over the body. Now we're not coming into a complete twist here, trying to keep both shoulders, both hips down on the ground. We're getting into the IT band here, this nice thick fibrous tissue, which kind of keeps your body standing straight up. It's something that we can't really necessarily lengthen, but and you wouldn't want it to be lengthened because then it would bother your structural skeleton. But anyways, it gets really tight, so it does feel nice to stretch it out just a little bit. You can even imagine with your pinky toe edge of your foot peeling that back towards your face. That tiny little adjustment really you can feel it. At least I sure can. And breathe. You can always take your right arm out to the side again if you find you're having a hard time with that counterbalance. We are not bringing our foot all the way to the other side. Maybe you feel it as soon as you get just over the midline of your body. That's absolutely fine. Just staying where your body is asking you to. Not allowing the ego to tell us what it wants out of our practice here today. Full inhales, full exhales. You're almost there. You got this. 2 more big, full, deep breaths right here. Excellent. You can slowly start to bring your right leg back up through center. Maybe giving one last little hamstring stretch right here, pulling it gently towards your face and releasing. But before we bring that other leg back down, my favorite party trick, go ahead and take your left foot and send it up to the sky. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty lopsided. Your right leg will feel dramatically longer than your left, and that is totally normal. It's okay. We're going to start to even you out from here. Go ahead, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe a little rock back and forth, massaging out the low back. And when you're ready, we're going to start and go on to the left side now. So taking that loop, your strap, we're going to place it on the ball of the left foot here. Taking your time, setting yourself up. Again, your right leg can be bent, sole of the foot flat on the earth. And a little gentle pressure as you pull the strap up towards you. Again, bend in the knee, absolutely fine. Keep that knee nice and safe. Both hips grounded into the mat and heel pointing up towards the sky. Rolling those shoulders back and down the body. We don't want to be having any excess tension in our shoulders, in our arms, forcing anything down. Still should be fairly relaxed. And maybe you on the other side straightened your left leg. So this time we're going to straighten through the right, maybe only if it feels good and safe in the body. And stretching out, seeing how that feels. If it feels too intense, go ahead, bend through that right knee, sole of the foot on the earth. But I know for me personally, in my body, it feels quite nice for the hip flexor just to be extended. Deep inhales and full exhales, really breathing into the belly, filling those lungs completely. And softening through the face, the jaw. So if you find that there's any few little, you only have say 15 minutes, 20 minutes to stretch and your low back is bothering you, your hips are bothering you, this series here is a great quick fix to just open you up and just allow your body to feel just a little bit better or a whole lot better. I know I feel better when I do this, but let's take 2 more big breaths right here. All right, this time taking the strap into your left hand, we're just going to open the left leg out to the side ever so slightly, almost like a 45-degree angle. And maybe a light pressure, just pulling, imagining if you could pull your knee up towards, your left knee up towards your left ear. Funny visual, but it works for me in my head. If you find that you're kind of falling over to the left side, bend through that right knee and allow the knee to drop open as a little counterbalance. Putting pressure into the heel, pressing out. And again, maybe a slight bend in that knee. We don't want to be hyperextending ourselves. You have nothing to prove. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. Excellent. Full deep breaths. So this is when this series is something I throw into my 1-hour classes quite regularly. I haven't met anyone who hasn't quite enjoyed it. Maybe you're not enjoying it right now in the moment, but once you get up and you're walking up and down stairs, you'll be like, oh wow, look at that. I feel an inch taller. And I mean, who doesn't have tight hips? Our hips work so hard for us. It's really important that we show them some love. A lot of us carry a lot of stress in our shoulders as well as our hips. So obviously this is a hips focused. I'll put out a shoulder one here again soon. But I hope this is a video you can find yourself coming back to. Two more big deep breaths. All right, slowly we're gonna guide our left leg back through center, taking the strap into our right hand. We gently guiding the leg over the midline of the body, only going as far as feels good, feels safe. Feeling this nice stretch outside the left side of the outer leg, keeping that left hip down on the mat. We don't want to be crossing all the way over. This is not a spinal twist. Both hips rooted, grounded, just allowing the leg to come across the midline of the body. Even imagining that pinky toe edge, if you just bring that ever so slightly, tilting it towards your face, I feel that. Hopefully you do too. Breathing, not allowing any excess tension creeping into those shoulders, into the arms. Maybe giving yourself a little smile, a little moment of gratitude for showing yourself the time to come to your mat, to give your hips a little bit of TLC. Big inhales, full exhales. Noticing if you're starting to roll farther to the side, keeping that left hip down towards the mat. And just a little bit longer. Let's go ahead, take 2 more big, full, deep breaths. Excellent. Slowly guiding that left leg back through center, releasing the strap, sending both legs up to the sky. Should feel a little bit more even. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug, a squeeze, maybe a little low back massage. there you have it. And there is the infamous strap series. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please come back to my channel anytime. I'm hoping to be putting out a little more regular programming. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Namaste.